Hey, my name is Lana from Girl Teach Me, and today I have a crazy story of how my husband and I paid off $80,000 worth of student debt in 2.5 years. And we went on to go and do a debt-free scream on the Dave Ramsey show, and it was one of the best decisions we ever made in our life to just decide to get out of debt. So in this video, I am going to share the 5 main strategies that we use to get out of debt in those 2.5 years. I want to tell you a little bit about how we acquired $80,000 worth of student debt. So my husband went on to physical therapy school out in California at a private school. He went 3 years. It's a 3-year doctoral program, and we came out with $80,000, which is actually really good for the school that he went to. But $80,000 is a lot. So when he finished, we had a 1-year-old. We were living in an apartment back in Tennessee. We had moved back, and we just felt really stuck. And we were like, how are we going to pay this off? That we wanted to be debt free, but we just really couldn't see how that was going to happen. And so we kind of started to slip into despair. I think we were probably in the despair mode for like a year. We were just trying to figure out what to do, but we just really couldn't figure out how to do it. So that's going to kind of tie into some of my strategies, but I just wanted to give you some context of where we were when we really decided that we were going to get out of student debt. Okay, so the first strategy that we used to get out of debt fast, and 2.5 years is pretty fast for $80,000 worth of debt, was one that we just decided. We decided that we were done with it. We were disgusted with the debt, kind of like somebody who's ready to lose weight. We just got to this point where we're like, we're done with it. We're committed. We want this debt to die. And so we just got radical about it. We decided. And as my friend Allie likes to say, you have to shut the back door. You have to give yourself no excuses, no way out. And we just decided we were done with excuses. We were done with, oh, well, if this changes, maybe we'll pay it off. We were like, no, we are going to do it. We're going to find a way. And that really helped us get our perspective right for what we actually needed and what we wanted, because we had this goal in mind. We had vision. And as far as seeing the Lord come through for us in that faith walk, He radically did. We were really in a bad spot. I was talking to this woman in my prayer group, and I was like, we don't know what to do. We're thinking about going just even to medical school so Matt can make more money, and then we would acquire more debt. Like, we just couldn't figure out what to do. And she said, have you thought about this type of physical therapy that makes a lot more? She was also a physical therapist. We stepped through a couple of doors and we met the right people. Matt started making significantly more, but I really don't think that that would have happened if, one, I wasn't asking other people for help and prayer and talking to the Lord about it, but also if we hadn't just decided. We were so committed. When that new job started and he started making more, it was like the Lord just provided a way to start shoveling money towards debt. So definitely a sign that He had heard us and that He was helping us be committed to that and providing a way. Okay, the second strategy that we used is we worked backwards and we worked overtime. So every year we have a tradition, try to do it in the month of January, and it's kind of cheesy, but it's called the Sullivan Summit because our last name is Sullivan. And we get away for about 2 nights. If we have a baby, the baby comes with us, but we get the family to watch the big kids. We go away and we dream and we plan. When we went on this specific Sullivan Summit, we were in the Smoky Mountains by this really beautiful river. It was super cold, and we holed up in this cabin for 2 days, and we dreamt and we prayed and we just sought the Lord on what we should be doing. And we made this Excel sheet and we worked backwards. I think we had about $35,000 left at the beginning of the year. It might have been more. And we wanted to be out of debt by November so that we could have some money for Christmas. We knew Christmas would be expensive. We were like, we want to be done by November. And so we worked backwards. We said, okay, if we have this amount of money that we want to pay back this year, this audacious goal that we're not sure that we can meet, how do we work backwards? So we split it up into payments twice a month every time we got paid. And we said, okay, beyond our payment, we would have to pay this much extra every time we got paid to meet that goal. And so that made every dollar count. Every dollar we can throw beyond our original payment, that is going to help us pay off debt that much closer. And my husband is such a good systems guy, and so this Excel sheet was really, really helpful tool. We saw, oh, if we even like cut this subscription out or this thing out, we throw that money over here, that's gonna bring us even closer. Y'all, spoiler alert, we paid off the debt in July. In July. It was so crazy. But none of that would have happened if we hadn't worked backwards and worked overtime. In the overtime piece, so my husband got paid per patient. The way that he did this was he worked at least 1 extra patient per day, sometimes 2. He called that his Dave Ramsey visit. And if you're a mom like me, you are ready for your husband to come home. You are ready for relief to come. And there was days when I was just at the end of my rope, and then Matt would text me, "Hey babe, I'm off to do my Dave Ramsey visit." And I was like, "Are you kidding me? It's gonna be like an hour and a half before you get home. If we didn't have this debt, you would already be home." And so it was a personal sacrifice for me. It was a personal sacrifice for him. You know, there was a lot of time we missed out with each other because we were trying to reach this goal. But because we knew it was such a short time, it was worth it for us to work backwards and to work overtime. Okay, the third strategy that we used to pay off debt is we paid it immediately after we got paid. So what that looked like for us is we would tithe immediately, and that was important to us to keep doing that because the way we operate is just that all the money we have is the Lord's, and so all of this is your money. You give us 90% to live off of. The 10% was never mine to begin with. And so we tithed from the very beginning, and then we had this number that we knew we had to have to live off of. That was like our groceries, our utilities, all those bills. We knew that number. So after that number, after I took the paycheck number, tithe out, budget, there was this number at the bottom. Because my husband never got paid the same thing every week because of his patient load would change. So I had this number at the very bottom, and then the debt payment would come out, and then there would be extra. And so I would look and see, where did we go over last month that we kind of have to pay that back? What things are coming up? I would forecast maybe somebody has some birthdays, or we knew that we had to pay this doctor bill or something like that. I would subtract that out. And just the bare bones, right? Just the little bare bones extras. And then that number that was left, I would throw that at debt immediately. Like, I would not really even let a day or two pass from the moment that money hit our bank account, because I knew that it would be gone. But if we immediately paid it, we had no choice. And so instead of relying on willpower or relying on motivation or good bookkeeping, we were like, no, we know we don't have willpower. We know that if I'm at Costco and I'm meandering through the aisles, I'm going to see that thing I need. So boom, we just went ahead and paid it. And that was really key for us. The fourth strategy we used is we celebrated as a family. We decided that we were going to cut chains. When we were at that Sullivan Summit, we said we have got to find a way to celebrate as a family. We've got to find a way to bring our kids into this. And so we made chains. I made the chains with the kids. I made them as pretty as possible because I knew they were going to be hanging up in my house for a year. And we made the 35 chains that we had left, and we cut those every single time we paid $1,000 off. It felt so good to cut those chains. Like, we could literally feel the weight coming off of us. And the chains were a representation of what the debt felt like to us. We felt chained to the debt, and we felt like that was weighing us down from doing some of the things we really wanted to do as a family, some of the things we really felt called to do. It kept us from being as generous as we wanted to be. So we really saw that chain getting shorter and shorter and shorter, and it was such a good picture for us. This leads me into my fifth and final strategy, and that is to make it public. We made our goal to pay off debt in 2019 public. We shared it with our people and we said, okay guys, we've got this many chains. Our goal is to pay this debt off this year. I know that sounds kind of risky, and it was. What if we don't do it? Everybody's gonna laugh at us, or what are they gonna think? We filmed every single chain being cut on Instagram. There's actually a highlight bubble on my personal Instagram, Lana Sullivan, and it just shows us cutting those chains. And now when I look back at that, my kids are so little and I'm like, oh my gosh. But we were just overjoyed to share it with other people, and actually because of that, we've heard many stories from our friend circle of other people who were inspired and went on to pay off their debt. And so it just goes to show that it's not just about us, it's not just about you. If you share your journey, it's going to keep you so much more motivated, and it's really going to inspire other people to do the same thing. So I would really encourage you to make your goal of paying off debt public. So all of that to say that we certainly couldn't have done this without the Lord just coming through for us. We also could not have done it without just some people cheering us on along the way. And so I would encourage you just to bring other people into this journey. I know it can feel feel shameful to have student debt, but so many people are struggling with getting out of student debt, and I think if you share your story, it can be an inspiration to other people as well. So thanks for watching this video. I'm over on Instagram at Girl Teach Me. I have girlteachme.com. I would love to connect with you. Let me know that you found me through this video, and definitely talk with me down in the comments. I would love to hear how much debt you have, what your goal is to pay it off, and I really encourage you, if there is something you want to learn in this life, find somebody who does it well, find somebody you respect, and say to them, hey, girl, teach me.